for the, well, Tigan in cart number 336 for the Free Nova Racing team. There is the 341, Toby Gale. In this race, out we go for the final superheat of the 2026 RMC International Trophy Asia. Toby Gale and Tigan Sakano on row number 1. Row 2, Yukar Poe and Tobias Norman. Row number 3, Timothy Dekcherov and Panusti Monkong. Row number 4, Suda Kusamoto and Lee 3. Row number 5, fast row, Kimi Chang and Eason Seng. They're both out of position. They're much quicker than that. Luke Armstrong and the number 339 cart of Sun Yibai. Then it's Jan Schwarzer and How See You. Behind How See You, the number 304, Chen Uan and Paul Becker. Rounding out the field, the number 335 cart of Tao Xiaoyu. 2 rolling laps, 14 race laps. Toby Gale now begins to slow the field down. At the end of that second rolling lap. Gale, the red and white Birrell ART. Sakano, the green and white Tony cart. Everybody sitting behind. Into the tram lines. Toby Gale brings them to the line. Lights are out. We're off and racing. It's a great start from Gale. It's a great start from Yukar Poe on that purple number 340 cart. Yukar Poe trying to go round the outside and he clashes with Toby Gale. Gale does a full 360 in the air and the pole sitter is out of the race. Timothy Dekcherov now moves into the race lead. Tobias Norman is second. Yukar Poe and Toby Gale clash whilst racing for the lead at turn number 2 on lap number 1. Yukar Poe at the background there, you can see, just getting going again. Toby Gale out of the race. One of the favourites for the ticket has hit a major problem. And Timothy Dekcherov, Tobias Norman, past the scene of the accident, which has been very quickly cleared away by the incredibly hard-working Marshall team here. They're back at the pack. Now there's another driver that's had a problem. Look at the leaders now, 4 of them. Dekcherov, Norman, Steen Monkong and Shinma Kusamoto. I think Jan Schwarzer has moved up from 13th into 5th place. Yes, there's the Kraft Motorsport cart, the German driver with the black crash helmet, black race suit. At the back of this lead group, behind him, Luke Armstrong was running in 6th. He's now dropped back a little bit. It looks like it's Kimi Chan who is up into 6th position now. For the Prema Power team in association with Theodore Racing, change for the lead. Tobias Norman takes the lead away from Timothy Dekcherov. Coming into turn number 3, Panusti Monkong takes 2nd position. Well, the gloves are off, and they're off early here in the 2nd and final superheat. Where is Tigan Sakano? From the outside of the front row of the grid, Sakano's dropped to 8th. Watch for the Lando Norris cart, the Kenting Racing MKC Motorsports Roger Young entered machine of Eason Seng. He is now in the top 5. We have got a lead group of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 drivers across the line. All together, it's Norman, Dekcherov, Steen Monkong, Kusamoto, Seng, Chan, Schwarzer, Sakano, Ibai Sun and Luke Armstrong. That's your top 10 all together. Behind that group, we have the 3-2-5 of Lee 3, Paul Becker, Chen Yuan, and I'm looking up to see where is How See You in car. How See You is there in 11th place. So at the back of this league group, there's the pink crash helmet of Luke Armstrong. The next cart in line is How See You, and she has just set a new fastest lap, 47.599. Oh, Schwarzer and the Prema cart of Sun Yi Bai out of the race. Well, no, out of contention. They collide. Have to say, Jan Schwarzer has not covered himself in glory this weekend. He has been a little bit leery and has drawn the attention of the race stewards on a couple of occasions. I didn't see what happened there, so I'm not apportioning blame, but Schwarzer needed a quiet race and he hasn't had one. Armstrong up to 7th. How See You up to 9th. Now the league group separates a little bit. How See You to 9th. Schwarzer down to 10th. And I'm looking to see where Sun Yi Bai is 12th. Still in the race. Sadly, it looks like we have lost the number 335 cart of Teo Xiaoyu. No, he is, Teo Xiaoyu out of the race. We're down to 14 runners. The 304 cart, Chen Yuan, is 14th. Li 3 is 13th. Sun Yi Bai, 12th. Paul Becker, 11th. 10th is Jan Schwarzer. How See You runs in 9th. 8th for Kimi Chan. 7th for Luke Armstrong, 6th for Shinma Kusamoto, 5th for Taigen Sakano, and here on your screen in the top 4, it's Dekcherov, Norman, Seng and Steen Monkong. Can Eason Seng finally put together a race without any issues? He is so quick, but he has not had a single race where he hasn't had a problem. Some of his own making, others not of his own making. There is Schwarzer now recovering in 10th position. How See You up into P8. Where will the young lady for 7 rings racing? There she goes. She has passed Sun Yi Bai and Jan Schwarzer. She's passed Kimi Chan. There's a move for the race lead. That's Tobias Norman. That's Eason Sen taking second. Dekcherov down to P3. Tobias Norman. Eason Sang. Now into P5 comes Taigen Sakano, the green crash helmet. At the back of this lead group, we have got 5 in the lead bunch, but then we got 3 more chasing hard. Kusamoto, Armstrong, and Yu. Change for 3rd. Steen Monkong now has it. Dekcherov pushed back to P4. Finally, on lap 9 out of 14, the 2 leaders may have calmed down slightly. Well, the lead group have calmed down ever so slightly. Eason Seng sitting behind Tobias Norman, allowing Norman just to pull Eason around. Eason using a bit of the slipstream, bit of bump drafting when need be, just to try and push Tobias away from the rest of the field. Dekcherov is still there in 4th position. Steve Monkong is 3rd. The tie driver for Strawberry Racing runs P3, and he now runs P5 because he went wide through hairpin number 2. Dekcherov and Sakano both pass Steve Monkong. Lap number 10 out of 14. Nothing to choose between the leaders. In fact, there's your top 5 on the screen. 6th and 7th, Kusamoto and Armstrong battling, and they're both being caught by How See You in 8th place. Behind 8th place, there's a little bit of a gap back to the 3-3-1 cart of Kimi Chan, Jan Schwarzer, Yi Bai Sun, and Li 3, Becker. And the 304 of Chen Yuan are next. Teo Zhao Yu is still running in 15th position. Lap number 11 is almost being completed. No change. Norman still just a tenth of a second in front of Isan Seng. Dekcherov, Sakano, and Steve Hong Kong. Well, certainly Dekcherov is starting to close in, bringing Sakano with him. And Sakano now takes up the chase into P3 for the Tiger. Tigan Sakano. Norman has sat in the lead. He's raced with Isan Seng, just perched on his rear bumper for the last 4 or 5 laps. Norman hasn't defended. Seng hasn't attacked. Smart driving from both. Hasn't quite had the desired effect that it does, you know, in the smaller class, the slipstream, where they can maybe pull a gap. Up the hill now, Isan Seng takes the lead on lap number 13 from 9th on the grid. And what's gone on there? Oh, Isan Seng's been forced wide. And here comes Tiger Sakano round the outside. A slim shady for Sakano at turn number 5. Round the outside. Norman and Seng clash. Dekcherov and Steve Hong Kong are next. Seng is down to 5th. Kusamoto is 6th. How See You is up into 7th position ahead of Armstrong. Kimi Chan is next. Last lap board goes out, and Tigan Sakano for the Free Nova team has the race lead. Dekcherov makes a move on Steve Hong Kong for 3rd. It's now between Sakano from Japan and Norman from Denmark. Sakano defends into turn 4. Has he over-defended? Here comes Tobias Norman round the outside. Now he tries the crossover. Brilliant move from Tobias Norman. Up the hill through turn number 7. Sakano on his rear bumper through number 8. Last lap. Sakano round the outside at turn 9. That's insane. That's insanity from Tigan Sakano. He's not well. Tobias Norman's not happy. Bits and pieces flying off. Sakano does a slim shady round the downhill outside turn number 9. I think Tobias Norman might have a few words with him, and that we don't want to see that. Norman feels aggrieved. Well, that's what the race director, the clerks of the courses are for. Tigan Sakano, let's not take anything away from the move. It happened here. Yes, did he use an elbow to open the door? A little bit, but then he drove around the outside of Tobias Norman, who's not happy. Well, we'll go and have a chat with Tigan Sakano as the superheats conclude. What a race.